Three of the New Orleans Saints 2025 NFL draft class still remain unsigned, but do not panic. Everything's going to be just fine. We got all that and a little bit of lagniappe for you on today's episode of Locked On Saints.
You are Locked On Saints, your daily New Orleans Saints podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is good, Who Dat Nation and Who Dat family? I am your host, your friend, Ross Jackson, New Orleans native, your New Orleans Saints expert and credentialed member of the media covering those New Orleans Saints as a Saints beat writer over at LouisianaSports.net. We appreciate you very much for being here with us on today's show. We get our first glimpse at the new scheme on offense and defense, as well as the new players as rookie minicamps kick off today. And 6 of the 9 New Orleans Saints NFL draft class members of this year's draft have signed their deals. But I want to tell you again why you shouldn't panic about the 3 that have not yet signed theirs. We got that and much more for you on today's episode. We appreciate you very much, whether it's your first time or your next time being here with us this time, making us your first listen and being an everydayer here on the show, which is a proud part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. We got a quick one for you today as we get ready for rookie minicamps. 6 of the 9 New Orleans Saints 2025 NFL draft class members have signed their rookie deals. That includes Kelvin Banks, the first round pick, and all of their day 3 picks as well. Danny Stutzman, the linebacker, cornerback Quincy Riley, running back Devin Neal, tight end Moliki Matavao, as well as defensive end or edge rusher rather, Fadil Diggs. That leaves 3 players unsigned. And if you listen to Friday's episode, you know why that's the case. But I know not everybody makes it all the way to like those third segments and stuff like that sometimes. So I wanted to bring this conversation back up, make sure we led the show with it today so you know what's going on. So second round pick Tyler Shough, the quarterback, as well as both third round picks, defensive tackle Vernon Broughton, as well as Jonas Sanker, the safety out of Virginia, have not yet signed their contracts. But do not panic. This is typical across the NFL, not just for the New Orleans Saints. This is typical across the NFL, particularly with second round picks. There's always a lot of negotiating and hashing things out, hashing out details when it comes to things, including but not limited to guarantees, oftentimes end up being the big thing. And there was a big time curveball this year with the Houston Texans having signed wide receiver Jaden Higgins to a fully guaranteed second round contract, the first of its kind in NFL history. He was pick number 34. Now, every player that was drafted in the second round, their representation is going to their team that's drafted their player and saying, you see what happened over in Houston? He got a fully guaranteed contract. I want a fully guaranteed contract for my client and for that second round pick. And now every team is having to negotiate against that. And until one team breaks and does not give that player a fully guaranteed contract and one representative of that player breaks and accepts that contract, right now there is no telling where the precedent ends, the new precedent ends for second round picks getting fully guaranteed contracts. Let me explain what I mean by that. So that happened at pick number 34. That was the second overall selection in the second round. If pick number 52, let's just say, gets a fully guaranteed deal, then that means that everyone from 34 to pick 52 gets a fully guaranteed deal. But then if pick number 53 takes it's a 4-year contract, so takes half guaranteed, so a first round or first year and second year guarantee, then that's where the sort of gradient begins for it trickling off over the course of the rest from 53 down to pick number 64. So that's the way that this is going to happen. Somewhere, someone is not going to get a fully guaranteed contract, and no one wants to be the agent, the representative that breaks, right? And so when you have a quarterback at pick number 40 overall, one that might start as soon as week 1, you're probably pushing for that fully guaranteed contract. So that's something that we're going to be watching for here when it comes to Tyler Shough. And remember, it's not the players. Don't sit there and, I hear people sometimes that say things like, oh, well, he shouldn't want a fully guaranteed deal. He should just be happy that he's on a football team. It's not him. It's not him. It's the agent, right? They're the ones that are kind of having that back and forth. It's not the player that's going, I want a fully guaranteed deal, right? It's the agents. They're trying to make their money, man. Let them do what they do. And so now with that being the case, now that we've gotten our first ever in the NFL guaranteed second round deal, all of the things that used to be haggled about and negotiated in second rounds because of the first round fully guaranteed deals and trying to settle out the guarantees in the second round, that's now going to bleed over to third round picks. And so now you're going to see third round picks effectively in that same situation of waiting to see what happens in some cases, not always, but waiting to see what happens before they accept whatever level of guarantees they get in the third round. So that's probably why you don't see guys like Vernon Broughton and Jonas Sanker at least signed the very first day of rookie minicamp the way that Banks, Stutzman, and beyond all got their contracts done, right? So if you're a third round pick, you're like, or if you're the representation of a third round pick, you're like, let me wait and see a little bit of what happens in the second round because I might be able to get guaranteed money for my third round pick, which no one's done before or whatever, right? No one's done to a certain extent before. So I think those are the things that you're going to see kind of formulating here over the next little bit. And I would expect these contracts to maybe take a little while. Might take all the way into June, like we've seen before with guys like Alontae Taylor. I believe Isaiah Foskey went into like just before training camp, or maybe it was mandatory minicamp. Even Kool-Aid McKinstry's took a little while, but his didn't take as long. But now you're going to see that certainly be the case with that fully guaranteed deal over in Houston. So blame the Texans. Blame the Texans. But look, here's the good thing. Tyler Shuck, Vernon Broughton, Jonas Sanker, unsigned rookie deals, all of which in photos and video, you can see that they were participating in rookie minicamp and not just present, but they were participating. Throwing, catching, running, doing drills, all the other stuff, like it was all there. So I wouldn't be concerned at all about these contracts. This is just kind of part of the game now. Coming up next, let's take a look at rookie mini camps, including our first look at the New Orleans Saints' new offensive and defensive schemes. We'll get to that next as we continue on with today's episode of Locked On Saints, part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode of Locked On Saints is brought to you by the Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. Did you know that the Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K devices can turn any television into your Xbox? Think about it. You're on the road, you're traveling, you want to be able to bring your games with you. You know you're going to have some downtime, but you don't want to lug your big Xbox console around with you, or you're worried about getting it, safely and check baggage and all that other stuff. Look, I get it. That's where the Amazon Fire TV Stick comes in. You have that Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K, a compatible controller, and an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription with EA Play included, and you are off and running in your hotel room. Nice and easy. All you got to do is plug in that Fire TV Stick 4K, connect your controller, and then bang, you're ready to go. Everything from some of your favorite titles like EA Sports College Football 25 and more. Head over to amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller are required. Available on select devices, including the Fire TV Stick 4K 3rd Gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max 1st and 2nd Gen, and the Fire TV Cube 3rd Gen. Today's episode of Locked On Saints is brought to you by our friends over at LinkedIn Jobs. Imagine you're a small business. You're trying to make sure that you're building and hiring the right talent to help you build your business and take it to the next level. You know that your business is only as good as the people that you hire to help you run it. That's where LinkedIn Jobs comes in. They make it easy for you to post your job for free, share it with your network and that expansive LinkedIn network as well, and get qualified candidates all in one place. They even have tools that will help you write job descriptions for you. And a little bit of a pro tip here, you can use that hashtag hiring frame to help spread the word that you're looking for the next employee and that you might have somebody else's dream job. That's why 72% of small businesses say that LinkedIn helped them find high quality hires, not just candidates, but hires. Post your job for free today at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Let's get it, Who Dat Nation. I am so excited because we finally get our first glimpse, just a glimpse, at the new schemes and new players that the New Orleans Saints are bringing in this offseason. I want to start off with the new schemes and what it is especially that we're going to be looking for. Over on the offensive side of the football under Kellen Moore and over on the defensive side of the football under Brandon Staley, the New Orleans Saints are going to look a lot different going into 2025 and beyond than they did before. I want to start over on the offensive side. Kellen Moore's offense, I can't wait to see some of the things that we get to see all throughout this rookie minicamp. We're not going to see any of the big scheme things and stuff like that, but there will be, I imagine, slight changes that we will get to see, right? How often are we seeing crossing routes across the middle of the field, right? As these guys work on starting to install some of what will be the basics to their offense. Do we see a balance between the outside run game and the inside run game, man versus zone, all of those things? How much of that do we get to see? Do we get to see a lot of 11-on-11 team drills? Do we get to see more 7-on-7 team drills, or is it just going to be mostly individual that we see? Like, we'll get an opportunity to see a bunch of this stuff, and it also gives us an idea of how Kellen Moore, Ted Rath, Brandon Staley, Phil Galliano, how the coordinators and the director of sports science help to run, work together to run their practices, and how that might look different than last year. I got I sent the gallery, it's a gallery of about 278 photos from the first day of rookie mini camps over on the New Orleans Saints website. I sent it to the insiders, which, by the way, great time to join the insider program. Text HUDAT to 504-285-7473. I'll send you updates all throughout mandatory mini camps and all this other stuff. And as we get into other like OTAs and everything, just a great time. You'll get your information first. You don't have to deal with like other stuff on your timelines and all that. Comes directly to your phone as a text message, no ads, nothing like that. So you can come through for that if you would like to. You can also click the link in the description. But one of the insiders texted me when I sent them that gallery and said, it's great to see that Kellen Moore has embraced the ancient art of stretching like Darren Rizzi. And I was like, yeah, I mean, like, it's crazy. Like, it's funny sometimes to remember some of the things that were odd about last year, like not stretching or not having these activation things. You remember when somebody put out a fake press release that the Saints were doing open tryouts and people actually like showed up and everything? Like, it was such a crazy year last year. And so now how different is everything this year? You begin to establish that tone here with rookie minicamp. So getting to see a little bit of what might be different over on the offensive side in terms of blocking schemes, in terms of heavy usage. Obviously, where is Kelvin Banks going to be lining up is going to be a big piece to the puzzle as well. And then you can look over on the defensive side and see, do we see a lot of 3-down linemen? Do we see more 4 linebackers, outside linebackers, stand-up edge rushers? How does Jay Rogers, the edge rushers coach, work with players versus how does Bo Davis, the defensive line coach, work for players when they're all together? Who works with whom? Like all of those other pieces too. So it's going to be interesting just to sort of see like the division of labor amongst everybody and how all of this kind of settles out and how effective it might be, right? Imagine being an edge rusher and not having to wait for your defensive line coach to finish working with the interior defensive lineman to start getting work because you have an edges coach that you can already work with, but you're also an outside linebacker, but you're not having to wait on the linebackers coach, Coach Sermon, to work with you because he's working with the inside linebackers. And then instead you have an edges coach to help you with that. Like, there's so many different things that I think go really well in terms of all those defensive scheme changes, these sort of, let's call it streamlining of communication, right? The focus of communication and coaching and all that, I think, are going to be good too. But really excited to see exactly what it is that we get to see. How are the safeties used and all these other things. Like, we'll get early glimpses at all of it. I don't think we'll get every question answered because it's going to be very basic kind of install stuff, but still going to be very interesting to see. I'm curious to see who's got the best chemistry with Tyler Shough, either as a receiver, pass catcher as a whole, including tight ends, the running backs in the backfield, the offensive line. Really curious to see kind of like who is on the kind of hip of Tyler Shough, working with them and all those other pieces. Very interested to see what that's going to look like. Very interested too to see the 2 running backs we've got, or the 3 running backs, excuse me. We'll see their rookies, Devin Neal, drafted the 6th round, as well as Marcus Yarns, the Delaware undrafted free agent. And then we get our first real opportunity to see Xavier Valade in this situation as well. He joined a team late last year, ended up being on the practice squad, so you don't get to see a ton of what it is that he's doing at his natural position. He's doing like scout team stuff and everything when we were there. And so it'll be really exciting to actually get to see him practicing at his position and see what it is that he brings. Really good dude. He's an awesome dude to talk to, but finally we get an opportunity to see him in the practicing at his position, which I think will be nice. And look, he's a dude that wants to do stuff in the community and all that other stuff, like just a good dude. So be cool to see him. But of course, everyone's really excited about Devin Neal, and for good reason. So how is he utilized? What does he look like as a pass catcher when they're running, pass catching drills with him and all these other pieces? Like, very excited to see all that. I'm curious about the health of one rookie, Quincy Riley. When I look through photos and I look through video, I never saw him with a helmet. So really interested to see if maybe he's got something that's lingering. He had an ankle injury that kept him off the field in September, October, but then was back all throughout the season after that. It was 2 games that he missed, one at the end of September, one at the beginning of October, or both at the beginning of October. And then was back all throughout the season, participated in the Senior Bowl, had a really nice performance at the Senior Bowl, and then like did all the pre-draft testing and everything like that. So I'm really interested to see if maybe that's just coincidence, that like that's just they never really took a photo of him with his helmet on. But he's there and he's present and all those other things. I'm just curious to see if he's limited in any way, or maybe if he was just limited for that first day, maybe he had not something with the physical or something like that hadn't come through or something like that, so they didn't put him through it. I don't know. We'll see. But I think that's a big question we're going to answer. Otherwise, it looked like all the drafted rookies were participating, but we'll see, right? Good. That was through day 1. What do they look like going into day 2? And then I'm super excited finally here to see Jashean Davis and Fadil Diggs, just these kind of stand-up edge rushers and how they're utilized throughout this practice and what we get to see, right? Whatever it is that we get to see. It's interesting because it's just going to be different. It's going to be very different. And so I want to see the things that are different. I want to bring to the show the things that are different and kind of keep you updated on where we think that some things are going. But Fadil Diggs, Jashean Davis, like both those guys have such highlight careers. 15.5 sacks for Fadil Diggs, 25.5 sacks for Jashean Davis, 33 tackles for a loss for Diggs, as well as 51 or 52 tackles for a loss for Davis. Like, I'm so excited to see those guys get to work here in at the next level and everything, and see where things go. So, all right, that's going to do it for today. Coming up tomorrow, or really later on tonight, like I'm not going to make you wait for it, but the Sunday episode will actually drop Saturday night, where we'll take a look at what my observations were from I always want to say mandatory minicamp, rookie minicamp. So we'll get to all of that later on today. So make sure you join in for that. If you want to get it early, again, text HUDAT to 504-285-7473, or click the link in the description to check out the Insider program. Cup of coffee every month. First 2 weeks is free, so you can try it out here over the course of rookie minicamp. See if you like it, and if you want to, you can stick around. We appreciate you very much, as always, making Locked On Saints a part of your day, part of your routine, for saying yes to me and the show. If you see me, please say hi. And if you need anything else around your New Orleans Saints in between these episodes, make sure you follow me on your favorite social media at Ross Jackson, NOLA. Hit me up. Know how the family's doing. Know how you living. Let me know how you're momming them. And trust you, that nation, I'll holla at you.